Dota 2 fans, and welcome to another edition of the Summit 2, a European Qualifiers. I'm Maurice Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and today we have Fnatic vs Kompas Gaming. Of course, Fnatic falling just earlier to Power Rangers.
Fnatic's
If you were
turn
watching
to ban.
the official stream, Power Rangers looking really sharp today, actually defeating Kompas Gaming earlier this morning as well. In some other quick Dota 2 news,
Radiant team ban.
especially for the Summit 2, specifically in the Chinese qualifiers early this morning at around 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Vici held their fate in their hands with 2 games left to go, sitting at 2 and 3 on the outside, looking into the
10
top 4,
seconds remaining.
and won both games versus HDT and
5
CDEC Gaming,
seconds remaining.
formerly LGD CDEC, and they are in the top 4, moving on to the single
Reserve
elimination
time.
playoff bracket, along with the likes of, I want to say, a newbie, and I believe LGD is in there as well. Yep, newbie, LGD, CDEC, and Vici all through. So very stacked lineup. Unfortunately for you IG fans, they were not able to make it through to the playoff bracket. But regardless, Fnatic looking to redeem themselves here. They're sitting at a lowly 2 and 6 so far in the European qualifiers. Kompas Gaming actually was in the top 4
Fnatic's
this
turn
morning,
to
but
ban.
in spite of the 2 wins of Power Rangers, they have moved into 3rd place, which puts Virtus.Proler at 4th, Secret at 2nd, and Tinker at 1st. So Kompas Gaming sitting at 3 and 2 right now, still in a very comfortable position in the tournament. We'll see if KPG
10
look to pull
seconds
out a
remaining.
win here and move back into the top 4 eventually.
Radiant
Not sure
team
that
ban.
they won't with this one win, because both Power Rangers and Virtus.Pro have better records. Virtus.Pro with less losses, Power Rangers with one more win, sitting at 5 wins. So, but still, Kompas Gaming will be in a good position with only
10
3 losses
seconds
so far.
remaining.
However, of course, Fnatic scraping at
5
any hopes to
seconds
make it back
remaining.
into the running here. So very crucial game for them. Thanks again for joining me. I'm Maurice,
Reserve
your
time.
resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and this is October 21st, and good morning to those of you on the East Coast and the Pacific. A good afternoon or almost evening for those of you in the Central European
Fnatic's
time
turn to
region.
pick.
So, first 2 bans here from Kompas Gaming are going to be the Death Prophet and the Brewmaster, of course. 2 very popular heroes, a very team fight oriented mid-game heroes. Banned out from Kompas, and Magnus is going to be the
Radiant team
first pickup
pick.
for Fnatic here. We'll probably see this on a rise in the mid lane. Haven't seen it played in many other roles for them. Of course, Hani picking up the 1 role most often for this new Fnatic squad, which is basically most of MYM, Meet Your Makers, and Hani as well. So Legion Commander was banned by them, as well as the Ogre Magi.
10 seconds remaining.
They last game actually ran an Ogre Magi Medusa, which is fairly
5
popular
seconds
in
remaining.
this meta. The awkward thing about it, or the unusual thing, was Hani's build there.
Reserve
He actually
time.
opted to go for 404 2 build and stats. So not leveling up the Mystic Snake. Leveling up a bunch of stats, actually going Mask of Madness, and coupled with the Bloodlust, was hitting
Radiant
pretty
team
hard. But
pick.
Ditya's Anti-Mage and the rest of PR, Shachlo, Shashari, Cat, J4, and one more stand, and they have Saneko, of course. Recently, they had a couple people leave the team. FNG left and went over to Empire before Navi, I believe. They also had Scandal leaving, who is now playing with Virtus.Pro Polar / NVMI. So, but PR still looking
10
very
seconds
strong.
remaining.
So kudos to them for doing what they've done despite their
5
roster
seconds
changes.
remaining.
So Earthshaker is the first pickup for Kompas Gaming. They'll eat a bit into their reserve time
Reserve
here
time.
to look to see what to couple that with. Of course, if Earthshaker is pretty timely and sharp on his fishers and well positioned, he can disrupt the flow of the skewer into RP, at least before the Magnus is able to get his Blink Dagger up. So very stable support for the Earthshaker. Of course, counters the RP well if it does get off and he's positioned well, because generally you would see the allied team of the Magnus converge onto that RP and look to take out the enemy targets who are grouped up by that reverse polarity. So, solid first pick from Kompas Gaming. Also, somewhat of a pick deny from Fnatic because, of course, of the synergy of Earthshaker and Magnus. And actually, Rubik's going to be the second pickup. So they're going to
Fnatic's
1-2
turn to
some
pick.
supports here, unless we see some classic Jimmy with some core Earthshaker for Kompas Gaming, which I'm going to assume is not going to happen, being that this is a pro Dota 2 match. So, uh, interesting pickup from Kompas Gaming. They'll pick up the supports 1-2, and that will certainly make the banning phases that are to come easier for Fnatic, being that they're looking only
10
at cores
seconds
to ban here.
remaining.
And they'll pick up the Nature's Prophet
Fnatic's
here. So
turn to
interesting
ban.
pickup for them. Probably will see it in the off lane. If I'm not mistaken, that is Ace, the offlane player for this new Fnatic squad, but I'm not 100% on that. I haven't been able to cast them too much, and I actually haven't been able to cast Compass Gaming at all,
Radiant
so
team ban.
very interesting for me. I've been watching Compass Gaming quite a bit and been pretty impressed with them. If it weren't for a quick tidbit
Fnatic's
of Dota
turn
2
to
news here in
ban.
Star Ladder, which starts tomorrow, I believe. Um, actually, a couple days from now, I should say. Um, Vici Gaming and Newbie, the Chinese teams, actually pulled out
10
due to
seconds
complications
remaining.
with getting their visas and getting to Ukraine in time for the
5
LAN
seconds
finals in
remaining.
Kiev. And what I was going to mention is that Compass Gaming was one of the teams that beat
Reserve
Cloud9
time.
and pushed them out into fifth place. Uh, so Vici and Newbie actually pulled out Cloud9 and Virtus Pro Vanilla, original Virtus Pro, are going to replace them in the Star Ladder finals here. So that's pretty
Radiant
cool stuff.
team
But
ban.
like I said, Compass Gaming been impressing me as of late. And as I mentioned here, Fnatic going to ban out a couple of cores here, going to ban out the Puck as well as the Bat Rider for Compass Gaming. So a lot of good initiation. Of course, a lot of magic damage toolkit there
10
for
seconds
Puck, and
remaining.
the elusiveness of Puck is very good versus Magnus.
5
And
seconds
also,
remaining.
Puck is pretty good at catching out a split pushing rat, such as
Reserve
Nature's
time.
Prophet. So PA is
10
going to be the ban
seconds
here from Compass
remaining.
Gaming. Don't want to see that cleave from
Anti-mates.
Empower from the Magnus, and don't
Fnatic's
want to see her
turn to
crit down
pick.
the entire team at once. Coupling with that reverse polarity. And likewise, they're going to ban out the Faceless Void, so they don't want to see an RP into a beautiful Chrono, and he could grab up Battle Fury and cleave down the whole team as well. So a couple hard carry bans from Compass. They're actually going to instant pick after those bans the anti-mage here. So crazy, crazy stuff for Compass Gaming. Been seeing quite a
10
few
seconds
anti-mages as of
remaining.
late. Actually, PR just ran it to great effect and
5
defeated Fnatic
seconds
last game. So
remaining.
Fnatic's going to have to deal with this anti-mage once again. Of course, he is a rat
Reserve
himself
time.
in many ways, especially when he's able to get up that Manta style, which is often such a core item. And he's also pretty good into that
Radiant
Nature's
team
Prophet. So
pick.
Fnatic going to pick up the SD here. Nice defensive support. Also gives them hope. This is obviously not what they're hoping for, but it does give them a couple of anti-mage illusions of their own if need be, and of course is good for the defensive disruption as well as the demonic purge to lock down opponents. They don't have too heavy of a magic damage lineup, so don't see so much
10
about
seconds
Soul
remaining.
Catcher being worrisome for Compass Gaming, but
5
regardless,
seconds
Shadow Demon,
remaining.
very stable support, very good roaming support as well. So we'll see what the pick is
5 seconds
from Compass
remaining.
Gaming to respond to that. And they'll pick up the Viper here in the mid
Fnatic's
lane.
turn
So
to pick.
um, interesting pick from them. Looks just to be a lane dominator here to starve the Magnus a bit out of farm. Doesn't look to be a direct counter to any of the lineup of Fnatic. But regardless, that Viper Strike going to help out this Anti-Mage to right-click down some opponents on the side of Fnatic. So, and it is also a very tanky
10
core,
seconds remaining.
very ideal candidate for the mechanism for the team.
5
So
seconds remaining.
Viper's a nice pick here. Dota for Dummies combo picked up.
Radiant team
Shadow
ban.
Demon Mirana. I should say Bane Mirana is more the Dota for Dummies combo, but a very strong roaming combo here from Fnatic. Shadow Demon Mirana there, probably going to be picked up by Rising Crit, unless Hani looks to take Mirana
10
into that
seconds
one
remaining.
position. So we'll see what the final ban is. They are banning a Slark from Compass Gaming, so they're expecting to
Fnatic's
support
turn
Mirana
to
here,
ban.
as would I. Slark, a pretty damn good hero, especially with the setup from the disruption for the pounce, and that would make a very aggressive early lineup from Fnatic. So good ban here that I
10 seconds
certainly
remaining.
would relate to from Kompas Gaming, um, with
5
the
seconds
pushability of
remaining.
the Nature's Prophet, with the Nature's Call, as well as the intimidation of the Magnus early on and his
Reserve time.
effectiveness, plus that roaming duo. Slark would be a very nice addition to Fnatic's team for Hani, and certainly one that is elusive early on, can purge off a lot of the buffs, debuffs from Viper with that Dark Pact. So I really like the ban from Kompas Gaming there. I feel like Slark would have fit very well into Fnatic's lineup here. They'll eat into the reserve time, which they really haven't touched thus far, so Fnatic have a lot of time to think this one over, and it looks like they'll be picking up Hani's hero here. They're going to make a ban first, presumably for the off-laner of Kompas Gaming. Not anyone in their lineup works particularly well in the off-lane. Viper can run it in some more uncommon situations, but the one thing from Compass's draft, as strong as it is it's pretty predictable in terms of lanes. You may see a roaming Earthshaker, but other
Radiant
than
team
that,
pick.
we'll probably see the defensive try with the Anti-Mage, Viper in the mid, and this last hero up in that off lane. So we'll see what the pick is here. It was a Centaur War Runner ban from Fnatic, so they just ban out a very standard, very aggressive utility sort of offlaner in the Centaur. So we'll see what Kompas Gaming end up picking up. There is still a Tide Hunter
10
in this pool
seconds
right now,
remaining.
and works very well up against that
5
Magnus,
seconds
as well as a
remaining.
lot of the lineup of Fnatic being particularly squishy. And they'll actually pick up the Treant here, so interesting
Fnatic's
pickup.
turn to pick.
Which that Nature's guys, he should work fine in the offlane as well as the Living Growth. It'll help out the Anti-Mage's potential to push here. Of course, a lot of right click from Fnatic already, with the Empower from the Magnus, as well as that Nature's Prophet in the core role. And so we'll see what the last pickup is from Fnatic. Of course, banning out that Slark
10
actually
seconds remaining.
may be indicative of the fact that they were expecting to pick up that Treant
5
Protector. Of
seconds
course, the
remaining.
Dark Pact is a nuke that has a lot of instances of damage, so is able to remove that Living Growth pretty
Reserve time.
quickly. So perhaps Kompas Gaming were already thinking of this hero, and maybe this allows the Viper to build into something like a quick Ags, or perhaps even a Shadow Blade, a little bit throwback. With that Living Growth, he may not need that early mech as much, but of course it will still help out the team. And Fnatic going to be hard pressed to find towers here, with really only the only push from the extra units provided by the Nature's Prophet. That Living Growth is going to be quite a
10
source of
seconds
frustration
remaining.
for them, looking to push into the towers of Kompas
5
Gaming.
seconds
So I
remaining.
like the Treant pickup here. I don't think it works extremely well in the laning phase, but if they're able to transition beyond that, Kompas Gaming's draft looks good. The Lifestealer is going to be the last pickup here for Hani from Fnatic, and Rise will pick up the Magnus in the mid lane. We'll probably see Crit and Rise on the Mirana and Shadow Demon. Hani does pick up the one position Lifestealer, and I believe Ace is the offlaner going to be playing on that Nature's Prophet. For Kompas Gaming, everyone pretty standard in their roles. This is what they run most often, so just get the camera organized there for you guys. Hopping into the game, this is the Summit 2 European Qualifiers. I am Maurice Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. Thanks again for joining me, guys. Throw me a follow on Twitter at MRP_Dota, and the same on
10
Twitch.
seconds
And you can
remaining.
check out most of the VODs. Some still need to be
5
uploaded,
seconds
but
remaining.
most of the VODs you can check out on youtube.com/slash more rage please Dota. One word. So thanks again for joining me, guys. This is Summit 2 presented by G2A.com, and of course,
Prepare for
beyond the
battle.
summit. We'll do a little introduction here as we have a 5-man movement, 4-man movement so far. From Fnatic here, we've got a Rise on the 2-position Magnus in the mid, Rise on the 5 Shadow Demon, a Crit on the 4 Mirana, Hani on the 1-position Lifestealer, and we see Ace up on the Nature's Prophet in the 3 role. So he'll send down his Treants to do a little bit of scouting. They'll look to set up an arrow here Arrow and Disruption already skilled. A 4-man movement is coming out from KPG as well. Anti-Mage going to scout out this tree in here, and actually he's going to attack it. Rise is going to walk around the tree line. Here's a Disruption, Arrow to fly. It's going to land. This is going to be first blood here for Fnatic if Artez can't blink out, and he can. Hani will pick it up on the life tier. Exactly the hero they want to grab up that first blood here. Living Growth was not skilled by Goddamn on the Treant Protector, so perhaps they felt that that was just going to be the inevitable death there of Artez. Unfortunately, he doesn't skill up Blink. There's no Living Growth, so maybe a little bit questionable, but of course, very slim chance that he survives. Anyways, Artez is going to be playing in the off lane on this anti-mage, interestingly enough. We've got Goddamn on the 5 position Treant Protector in the safe lane. Gorek going to be playing up on that 1 position Viper. Phoning J actually on the core Earthshaker in the mid. So this is a core Earthshaker, as I mentioned, as a possibility in the start of the draft. Not a core Treant Protector. And PSM going to be playing up on that Rubik. So in the safe lane, we have a solo Ace and an aggressive try being run with Hani here in the off lane. So Gorek's actually going to look to scout out these supports. Unfortunately, they don't have a ward here. They're going to place a sentry looking for a magic bush ward, but PSM's in big trouble here. He's going to get disrupted up. Arrow is going to fly. It will be there just in time and hits up PSM with a few more right clicks. They should be able to clean him up here. Living Growth is cast on him, but the first level of Living Growth pretty underwhelming with only 4 damage instances blocked there. So another kill for this early roaming combo of Rise and Crit on the Shadow Demon and Mirana respectively. They could have gone for the Treant there, but didn't want to dive underneath the tower. Disruption was also on cooldown. Ace going to be harassed up by Artez. He's going to have a rough time in this off lane. Sitting at 4 and 3 up against the 2 and 2 of Artez, but with the Treant and his harass ability there, he should be okay. Early levels of feedback, or mana break I should say, being skilled by Artez. Actually, PSM going to come in with the telekinesis. They should have enough to bring Ace down here with 1 more blink, 1 more right click from Artez, and PSM will actually finish him off on the Rubik. So first kill going the way of Kompas Gaming there is a good one, especially with the experience going the way. Actually, Mirana going to find another kill onto Gorek's Viper, and they're going to find Goddamn in this bottom lane as well. He tries to Living Growth himself up, but 1 last right click from Hani going to chunk him down. TPs are back in from Gorek here. Hani's going to be scouted out. He's got a Rage, but no TP scroll, and is actually going to juke into the tree line. There's no Leech Seed here from Goddamn, and Crit actually going to come over to zone them out. He's got no mana though, so if they've clicked on him, they know they can look to chase this. No clarity on him either, but it looks like the lane going to settle down for now. 4-1 is your score in favor of Fnatic. They're looking to redeem themselves in this one, and they will drop Kompas Gaming to 3 and 3 if they're able to do so. Poor Man's Shield is picked up here from Artez. We'll take a look at the mid matchup real quick. Phoning J is sitting on this Earthshaker up at 8 and 3, pretty damn good up against Arise's Magnus here. He's skilled 1-1-1 so far. Arise sitting at 10 and 1. Do we have more aggression bottom lane? It doesn't look to be the case. Actually, Crit is back in the base on this Mirana, healing up. He's got a smoke and a ward here, so we'll see what he looks to do with that. Hani going to contest the pull from Goddamn, who's going to have to back off here. And looks like PSM is trying to cut his way through the trees, but he actually right-clicked one of the creeps. Not sure if he's got auto attack enabled, but right-click one of the creeps from the tree line and gave away his position. Ace did back up. Blink forward here from Artez very aggressively. He's going to actually soak up some harass from the creep wave, and Ace will be just fine, it seems. It looks like Crit is coming down the mid lane with that smoke, so we'll see what he ends up doing here. Gorek doing pretty poorly in this bottom lane at 12 and 0. Actually keeping up with Hani by virtue of having that range. But here's a smoke from Rise and Crit. Rise is wrapping around with them, perhaps looking to just secure this rune. We'll see if they look to go top, and they do. They drop a cliff ward here. They're going to look to go on PSM or Artez, who's just been healed up with the Living Growth, so this is a perfect time for them to go. Arrow actually going to fly. It's going to hit PSM in the tree line, and Rise going to drop a Soul Catcher. Is there a Starstorm from the low ground? There is not, but there is a leap. Ace is going to finish off PSM here. Fadebolt going to go out onto crit. Artez going to blink back to safety. Another kill going the way of this roaming Mirana Shadow Demon combo. Kompas Gaming struggling to deal with it this early. And Hani's actually going to pick up Gorek in the bottom lane solo with those newly acquired phase boots. So, wow. Unbelievable here. He's going to grab up an Orb of Venom and a Ring of Bassi at this point. And 6-1 is the score there. That was a complete solo kill with only phase boots and open wounds used from Hani here. So Crit is sitting on the high ground in the mid. And we'll see to look if he goes on a phoning J. It looks like things are going to settle down in this top lane. Will an arrow be shot here from Crit? We will have to see. There has to be a walk forward for this skewer from Arise. He's got a double damage as well. Arrow's going to fly. Is it going to land? No, it's going to whiff just slightly from a phoning J there. Looks to counter initiate from that Fisher. Living Growth going to go out onto a phoning J in the mid. And looks like things will settle for the moment. Crit rotating down to that bottom lane. Only sitting at levels 2, despite all the work Crit has been able to get done. It has mostly been from long range. Disruption here, though. Arrow's going to fly with the Soul Catcher. Going to hit on Goddamn. He's going to be dead. Living Growth is on cooldown. One last right click from Hani. Going to pick him up. Hani at 4-0-1, 5.5 minutes into this game. Looks like he's going to go Midas. And that's pretty much warranted with the early success he's had here. Rise doing really well in the mid lane, 27-6 up against the 23-9 of a Phoning J's Earthshaker. He's going to look for the 6-minute rune top. Ace is going to be harassed up in this top lane. He actually looked to TP out in the face of Artez perhaps there. And things are going to settle for the moment, guys. 6 minutes in, score is 7-1 for the side of Fnatic. Everyone pretty poor on their side. Actually, Hani going to find Gorek in the trees. Soul Catcher going to go out onto him. A nice Wrath of Nature going to come through. And one last right click from Hani. Going to pick up Gorek's Viper. He's going to kill PSM as well. And that's a double kill for Hani. 6-0-1. He's only 300 gold off his Midas. With Bassi as well as phase boots and Orb of Venom. He is fat this early, and he's going to do a lot of work up against this Anti-Mage, who being relegated to the off lane is sitting at level 5, almost level 6, so not bad in terms of experience, but hasn't found a kills, has actually died, of course, to the first blood. And his farm is decent at this point. But Hani still at higher CS with 6 kills. Crit sitting in the mid lane. He's not going to find a Phoning J. Actually, rotations from Goddamn, a Phoning J, and Gorek here. They're going to find Rise. They're going to Fisher block him off. He'll get cleaned up here from an Enchant Totem Strike. Hani will rotate in. He's still got an Infest and a Rage. He's going to look to take on Phoning J, but he's in trouble here. He's going to Infest into, looks to be a Radiant Creep. Smart play from him. Is sitting at full health, cannot be denied up. So we'll see if there's a rotation in. Crit's going to fire an arrow. It's going to fly. Not going to hit anyone here. And it looks like Hani's going to have to infest out pretty soon and try and rage and run away. But he's actually gotten support here from Arise. He does infest out, so they look to just cover his retreat here. 4 against 4 in this bottom lane. This gives Artez some space to farm in the top lane. Arrow's actually going to land point blank on PSM as he walks through the tree line. And he'll get picked up from one last right click from Rise here. Wrath of Nature going to fly through. Disruption out onto Korak. He's going to fall to one last right click from our Rise as well. 2-0 in the bot lane. 300 gold, showing 250 experience, making 1,000 gold going their way by virtue of that tower. And this game is getting out of hand for Kompas Gaming. Midas picked up here for Hani. He's going to go find a large creep and eat that up. Sitting almost at level 9. Take a look at the scoreboard. He is ahead of every hero, I should say. Sitting at level 8, as you can see there. High up on the net worth chart. Artez sitting at 3rd, even underneath the Magnus. And Gorek, the 1-position Viper, underneath Crit and Rise on the Mirana and Shadow Demon respectively. So extremely poor early game for Kompas Gaming here. Things are looking very rough for them. And well played from Fnatic early on to redeem themselves. Fisher block out onto Hani, but not much more aggression can go out here. Echo Slime was available, but wasn't able to get in range in time also. The Infest was up from Hani. He will walk around the corner, however. with a Fisher in 1 second. Boom, one strike, Echo Slam. Nice rage by Hani, but he's going to have to run and do it quickly. Fisher from a Phoning J is going to finish him off. Great kill for him. When that fight recap comes up, you can see 512 gold there. Arrow's going to fly, is going to whiff on PSM from Crit there. Take a look at the fight recap. 492 solo experience, 738 gold, going the way of a Phoning J. That's going to help him out. He's going to be pretty close to his blink. He's sitting on phase boots. Perhaps he looks to go Crystallis Shadow Blade. That's not an uncommon build for this core Earthshaker, but I feel like they really need this blink initiation from him. Jump in RP onto a Phoning J. He's going to get skewered back into an arrow. Very nice synergy there from Crit, and a Arise Shockwave going to finish him off, even though he got healed up from that living armor. So very nice play from Arise and Crit, flashing their skill there. Ace going to rotate into this mid lane with his treants up. He's just going to do some scouting and actually farm up some neutrals here. Hani and Rise sitting in the top lane, going to look to perhaps push this tower down. Artez is going to have to be worried about this roaming Mirana, and he's going to back off into the tree line. He's got a Ring of Health, Treads, Poor Man's Shield. We'll look to go towards the river here. Is pretty behind in farm. He'll farm up the mid lane a bit as PSM and Goddamn rotate to cover this top lane. They've already lost the tower this early with a Treant Protector, so not looking good for them. Rage was stolen by PSM. Nice defensive spell there, but it's not gonna garner them any kills. And actually, Ace doing a nice job of dragging the creep wave back with his Treant, and it looks like they will take this tower down with relative ease. There is a Glyph Living Armor, so they do synergize those up very well, and they still will lose the tower here, so only going to delay the inevitable. We'll see if Hani's able to get the last hit. No, the Dire will actually pick it up there. Crit going to have to run out from this mid lane, but the tower is still very healthy for him, so that should be just fine there. And actually, Hani going to pick up PSM here despite him having Rage. So I thought they might back off. Sorry about missing that kill, guys. Unfortunately, they do find one here. We'll look to see if they continue to push with this Rubik down. Looks like they were just able to purge him up with a Demonic Purge from Rise. So they are looking to put more punishment, knowing that the Living Armor is down, I should say. And Glyph is still up, of course, refreshed after the death of that T1 here. Crit is still in the mid lane, so only gonna have 3 from Fnatic here in this top lane. Looks like disruption here, but no arrow to follow up. Artez is just gonna blink out, and it looks like Fnatic is probably gonna back off here. Sprout onto Goddamn. That's gonna give him some material to Nature's Skies though, and he'll be just fine. 1-1-2 build from the Treant Protector so far. He's actually going to open wounds up. Sentry Ward was dropped down there. An arrow going to fly. It's going to whiff on Goddamn. Jump in RP onto Artez, but he's going to get Telekinesis instantly and Viper Struck. And actually RP stolen from PSM. Fadebolt going to go through. Echo Slam going to finish off Ace, and Arise are down. Artez chasing. He's going to get defensively disrupted. One last right click from a Phoning J with the Enchant Totem. Going to finish off Rise there on the Shadow Demon, excuse me. But they will TP out Hani in the midst of that. Nice 3 return kills, 3 for 1 in the top lane. Looks like Goddamn was actually finished off in the back lines as well, but a beautiful play from the Rubik there. Telekinesing Arise instantly, stealing up the RP as well, getting a 4-man RP with the Fade Bolt going through everyone. And beautiful swing there for Kompas Gaming. Take a look at the net worth. They're climbing and climbing fast, surpassing Ace as well as Arise on their 2 main cores, the mid lane, and Artez in the off lane, of course. Artez was more like the safe lane with the aggro try coming into Gorek's face on that Viper. Hani's picked up a Yasha here, so we'll see to look if he goes Sanjin Yasha, the Loda build, the race car build. He's already got phase boots, so he is sitting pretty quick. 401 base move speed with the phase, 459. So still well in Hani's control. He's sitting at level 10, almost level 11, 7, 1, and 3 on this. And they will find Ace in the bottom lane. Artez and a Phoning J do clean him up there. Sorry for missing the initiation, but looks like a Fisher to get in, and the Enchant Totem to finish him off there. Does Artez find the kill? No, a Phoning J will find it on the Earthshaker. He's sitting at 4, 1, and 1. So the brightest spot here for Kompas Gaming is their mid Earthshaker, and they've just gone 4 kills unanswered after goddamn died in that top lane. Arrow gonna fly through the tree line, gonna scout a couple people out, but not gonna find anyone. And that will sound the retreat. Honey gonna rage up. He's actually gonna open wounds at Phoning J, but he's been Viper struck. A nice skewer back onto a Phoning J. He doesn't have Echo Slam up. He will tick down to the Demonic Purge. Hani gonna heal up with the Infest Bomb there. And looks like TPs are coming in from 8th. Aggressively, he will scout out the tree line here with his Treants pop. PSM looking to find an RP here with this Nature's Guys. 4-man RP from PSM. Does it again. Fable. Crit going to be able to jump out. Nice defensive disruption there. Mana Void going to clean up. None, though. Phoning J does go down. Everyone's still pretty healthy for Fnatic. Looks like Crit will die to one last right click from Artez. Blink forward, skewer onto Artez. Shockwave. Nice living armor here. He's going to be able to blink out and actually blink up the map. Very nice play by Artez, but a couple right clicks and a Shockwave going to finish off PSM. 2 for 1 in the mid lane. Open wounds going to go out onto goddamn. Do they have vision for him? It doesn't seem like they do. Disruption Soul Catcher out on the side to Gorak. He's going to tick down to the Demonic Purge. And 3 for 1 for Fnatic in that mid lane. Mana Void not able to finish off anyone on Fnatic after that huge RP once again from PSM, playing out of his mind. Just not enough here. Buyback came out from a Phoning J. 3 for 1 in the mid lane, the way of Fnatic. And they'll look to posture up on this tower as well. Only 10 seconds until Viper is up, however, and it looks like they'll be content to back off. Nice leap out from Crit. He's going to avoid that jump in, skewer back, and the arrow actually going to whip on a Phoning J, but open wounds, one last right click from Hani. They're going to pick up the Earthshaker as well on their way out, and that's a dieback for a Phoning J. He's only at 27 gold now. He does have his Blink Dagger up though, so does have his core items for this particular point in the game, but 1,000 XP going the way of Fnatic as he was the second highest on the net worth. And they will back up right into Roche. Rai's going to look to defend this top lane with a bit of Shadow Poison spam. And he should be successful in doing so, as only Artez is in this top lane. They can't defend it, or they can't fight in the pit without their Earthshaker. He's pretty much the only AoE aside from PSM's RPs that he's been able to steal. So TPs are out from Ace, so the experience only going to go the way of the Mirana, the Magnus, and Hani here. Hani is going to pick up that Sanjin Yasha. He's also got 800 gold to his name. Take a look at Arise's item progression. He's got his Blink, and it looks like he's going Force Staff as well. Moonlight Shadow was popped. Artez going to posture up onto Arise, but a skewer forward from Arise, and with the Soul Catcher, one Shockwave going to be able to clean up Artez's anti-mage here. PSM's going to be Nature's Guys up. Arrow's going to fly out. It is going to scout, but not going to get much there. Actually, Arrow picked up from PSM here, so he's been able to grab up some nice spells. Meanwhile, Ace split pushing in the bot lane. TPs are in from a Phoning J. Fisher could be able to catch him out here. Actually, he blinks forward just to enchant on him the wave, and Hani's going to come out with some right clicks. Living Armor not going to be enough. Viper Strike going to go out onto Hani after he picks up one. Arrow going to fly out from PSM. That's going to hit on Hani. Hani should be dead here. No Infest available for him. And just an Aegis pop, however. Will they look to re-engage here? He does have a Rage. And they're just going to look to back out. Rightfully so. Arrow going to fly in from the side, however, from Crit. It hits Gorak. Rage up here from Hani. They're going to clean him up. 2-man RP from Arise. They're going to clean up Artez, as well as PSM with a Cleave Strike from Magnus with that Empower. And this will be 4 for 1 in the bot lane if you conclude the early death of a Phoning J there. Blinking towards the creeps instead of towards Ace for some reason. Huge swing going the way of Fnatic. They're going to pick up the tower as well. So 2,000 gold up. I almost said Loda there in my mind with the Sanjin Yasha on Hani, on this Life Stealer. And up against a Treant Protector, the tower score is 5-1 in favor of Fnatic. 18 minutes into the game. This is a disaster for Kompas Gaming. I haven't wanted to up to this point, but we'll take a look at the graphs for the first time in the game. I'll let Arise even pick up the bounty rune. He bottles that up. but 14,000 net worth lead in the favor of Fnatic, almost a 10k experience lead at this point. Yep, just under 10k, about 120 gold under 10k. Ace gonna TP into the top lane. He's gonna spread up Artez, who's just gonna hatch it out gingerly and walk away from that. He does have his Battle Fury up at a very decent timing. Probably has had it for a minute or so now on this anti-mage, and really is the only one relevant on this net worth chart. The supports have been doubled up, and Gorak is almost caught by the supports of Fnatic here. He does pick up his mech finally 19 minutes into the game with Treads Bassi, and not looking too great on this Earth. Oh, nice arrow from Crit. Gonna find a Phoning J. Easy money for Hani there. And Phoning J, after being the bright spot, as I'd mentioned early game, at 4-1-1, is now 4-6-1 on this Earthshaker. Rage was stolen by PSM once again. Not gonna do too much for him. But he does have some magic immunity. Arrow gonna fly out, is gonna land on Gorak, but it's high ground here. There is a Blink RP, skewer back on 2 from Arise Starstorm, as well as the Shockwave. Somehow Hani with the Empower gonna pick up a Cleave Strike and pick up both those kills. Extremely fortunate for him, 4,800 gold on Hani. Drums are going to be popped in the mid lane. They're going to bring down this T2 with ease. Artez looking to split push as much as he can, but TP's back from Ace are going to clean up the creep wave, and he's going to have to get real aggressive here. And with this tower as healthy as it is, as well as an Orchid up on Ace, a good decision from Artez to back out here. 5,200 gold up on Hani, 5,400, almost 55 now it will be when he cleans up this ancient stack, and we'll look to see what he builds into here. I wouldn't mind a Desolator for him, just some pure right click to take down these heroes. He does pick something up, so maybe a heart, perhaps. He does pick up the heart recipe here. I saw 1,100 gold or 1,300 gold go there, and yeah, certainly has enough for this heart at this point. We'll pick up the full heart instantly. So looking just to not be killed, as well as adding some right click with that plus strength. With the Empower, he does have a lot of right click. So perhaps the smart decision is from Hani here, not the greedy one. And it looks like they'll finish off Gorak with a simple Oaken Wounds here. And look how hard he hits with that Empower. Mech is not going to do enough. Even the living armor going to be put into Gorak here. Arrow's going to go out. It's actually going to whip. And a jump in Echo Slam. Nice defensive disruption, though. Onto Crit. A couple right clicks will bring down Goddamn here. A Shockwave actually going to pick him up. They do finish off Crit and Rise, however. Gorak going to die to a skewer. And PSM going to try to TP out. Not going to be enough. Actually, 2 hits from Hani will give him a godlike streak here. 4 for 2 in the mid lane. Only the supports going down for Fnatic. Huge experience swing going the way of KPG, but they're still outmanned in terms of the 4,200. So a net 700 gain for Fnatic, and that's not going to be enough to bring Kompas Gaming back into this game. With Artez and Gorak down, they'll take an easy set of racks here, it seems. Artez does have buyback, and Gorak is up pretty soon, so they can look to defend this here. But Hani gonna go for that melee rack, so showing you how confident he really is at this point. Goddamn does have an overgrowth here, but no blink initiation for him. So Fish are gonna go out onto Hani. Viper Strike as well. He's gonna get forced from Arise, but not quite to the low ground. He'll just rage TP out, and they have nothing to stop this here. And they will find a melee racks and 1,000 damage on the ranged racks here, and get out unscathed for Fnatic. So looking extremely good. 20,000 net worth, 15,000 experience leads generated by Fnatic. And this is more or less a stomp, folks. 23 minutes in, that kind of lead. Wish I had Nahaz Dota with me to pop up how rare that really is. Arrow going to scout the jungle here for the Radiant from Crit. Not going to hit anyone, but Roche is going to be up fairly soon, it seems. We will know in about a minute and 20 whether it's a full spawn or less. So, RP actually in the mid lane onto Artez, and Arrow going to land as well. So, well worth the kill on the anti-mage. Really the only hero they have to worry about here. And Hani beyond godlike, sitting at 16-1-8 on this life stealer here. How much gold does he have? 1400 in addition to the heart and the Sanjin Yasha. And with that Empower, he is just hitting like a truck. Almost 300 damage here, 284 damage with that Empower up. So, as well as 1500 gold. Looks like a little split push action from Gorak happening here. Ace does have the Orchid in here, however, with the Sprout, he will drop that as well as the Orchid. Shockwave into Gorak. Soul Catcher goes out as well. Living Armor not going to be enough to keep him up. Nice defensive disruption by Rise here. Will he get cleaned up? Doesn't seem like it. Ace going to find the kill on Gorak. And easy kill in that top lane as well. Hani sitting in this mid lane, totally by his lonesome with 3 of their heroes known to be in the top lane. Still, he's not worried about nothing. So, Hani really tanky. He picks up a plate mail on his way to his AC, presumably. We'll see if he sells that magic wand now and goes for a Hyper Stone. That's going to help with the push as well as his right click, of course. And Fisher going to go out into his face from the high ground from Phoning J as well as an Enchantom. He's going to get Telekinesis up. He does still have a Rage. Will Rage up and look to put some right clicks into PSM here. PSM going to steal the Rage, into a Phoning J, I should say. Infesto from Hani. And he'll get out of base and start phasing out as well. He's pretty low on mana, but with that 2100 health still left in his pool, Mana Void not going to be too scary for him. He can actually rotate to the Secret Shop and pick up his Hyperstone here. Not sure if he wants to do that or just keep the momentum of the creep wave in. Ace is pushing out the bottom lane as well. So they're pushing all the lanes in here are Fnatic. And probably look to either rat or simply take out. There was a smoke here from someone. Phoning J gonna solo smoke for KPG. He'll look to blink in and probably solo kill up Ace in this bot lane. Actually, we're gonna look mid, so perhaps looking for an Echo Slam here. Looks like Demonic Soul Catcher actually was stolen here from their PSM from the Rubik, but Phoning J's smoke gonna expire momentarily. He'll blink back towards the base and just clean up this creep wave along with Ace's Treants here. But Ace gonna find Artez in the top lane. He's actually gonna blink out up the map so as to confuse the members of Fnatic here, and he'll be just fine. But this could sound the base push here. Actually, Ace gonna rotate back towards the Ancient. He'll farm those up. He's sitting on Shadowblade Orchid, very throwback build from him on this Nature's Prophet, as well as 4,000 gold. So perhaps he looks to go Deso here as the AC is being built by Hani, and he could also go Daedalus as well, but Deso does help the push out, and he does instantly buy up that Deso. This is my favorite Nature's Prophet build from probably 6.78, I want to say, very long time ago from Ace, but that right-click NP is real in this game. And with a lead like this, sitting at 13,000 net worth, 4K over Artez, certainly no one's going to flame that build, and Hani is at 18,000 net worth, 27 minutes into the game, 700 GPM for him, and even has the same amount of lasses as Artez, but doubles him in net worth. So it shows you how good his KDA is here, 16-1 up against the 3-5 of Artez. So Refresher Orb is going to be picked up from Arise here. They're going to go into Roche with Ace steeping in, and with this Deso, as well as the AC that's soon to be picked up, presumably after this Roshan for Hani. If he's got that Hyperstone, which I believe he is. The jump in Echo on 2 though. Phoning J going to be instantly orchided up with a Soul Catcher. One more right click is enough to finish him off. Blink forward from Arise. He's not going to get the RP off, however. And Overgrowth is going to try to TP away Goddamn Falls as well as PSM to a Skewer. 3-0. So big risk play from a Phoning J. Got to make those when you're this far behind, however. Orchid is ready for Artez. Few right clicks are here from Ace. Arrow going to fly as well. Oh, nice Wrath of Nature with the Soul Burn from Orchid. Ace going to find a triple kill here. Gorak gonna walk away to safety, but that's pretty much the end of him, folks. Ani gonna solo push this mid lane. Ace gonna TP in here. So 4-0 going the way of Fnatic there. Instant buyback from a Phoning J. However, AC comes out now for Hani. And with that Deso AC combo, you gotta hit the building Ace. But jump forward from a Phoning J. One Enchant Totem Strike. Nice force out from Arise and the Shadow Blade. as well is going to sound the retreat of Ace there. One more right click, however, from PSM, gonna clean up, or from Hani, gonna clean up PSM. RP onto 2 here, refresh from Arise. He'll get defensively disrupted. Starstorm gonna clean up 1. Gorak gonna go down as well. Instant buyback from him. Not gonna matter here, folks. GGs are gonna come out soon. In fact, Ace fountain farming here. He's gonna find another kill. He will go down after a double kill, and monster kill streak goes the way of Artez here. He'll pick up his ultimate orb, but not going to be enough as they've lost 2 lanes of racks here. Ace going to buy back TP in. They're just going to throw it here, and drums popped, so GG. Nice celebration. RP is going to be popped from Arise. Jump in here from Artez. He's actually going to feed before the game's over. And Shadow Demon will pick that one up with the Demonic Purge. Thank you for joining me for this first game I have cast of the day for the Summit 2, guys, presented by G2A.com and, of course, Beyond the Summit. As you can hear, the Magnus is stampeding towards the fountain by the gleam of my horn. So, easy game, easy life for Fnatic here. Not to flame Kompas Gaming, but they snowballed directly from the early game into the late. Both Hani with 778 GPM, 18-1 on that lifestealer, out of his mind. Got quite a few last hits in kills that were set up by Crit and Rise. So definitely Crit, Rise, Arise, really doing work to set up the kills for the team there. Excellent play by all 3 of them. Very standout play from the roaming combo there. Ace and Hani played well, but for the most part, they just had to right click. Ace did a good job of defending the safe lane tier 1 quite a bit. I believe they still had 5 outer tier towers up for the side of Fnatic at the end of that game versus a Treant Protector when you finish the game at 29 minutes. It's pretty much a stomp in most cases. So very well played from Fnatic. They'll go to 3-6 in the Summit 2. I'll have that updated for you guys pretty soon, the scoreboard there. As soon as Liquipedia gets it up. Next game of the day, as you see in the title, is Fnatic versus Empire. And for the first time in the day, we're actually ahead of schedule for the Summit 2. 9 minutes from now is the scheduled time for Fnatic versus Empire. So get your bets in if you still can. Very well played there from Fnatic. And of course, if you want to check out the official stream, twitch.tv/Beyond the Summit. And very well played from both sides there. Fnatic looking very strong after losing to PR this morning. So thanks again for joining me, guys. I'm Mars, please, your resident Canadian Dota caster. Dota 2 caster. Follow me on Twitter at MRP_Dota. The same on Twitch. And check out the VODs on YouTube at youtube.com/MoreRagePleaseDota. One word. Thanks again for joining me, guys. I will be back in about 9 minutes or so for the next game. Gonna try to update this Liquipedia image as soon as possible. Fnatic is still sitting at 2-6 and Kompas Gaming at 3-2 as well. So as soon as they update that, I will throw that up for you guys. But for now, enjoy the break, grab something to eat, and we'll be back in 5 or so. There you have it, folks. That is the new standings currently in the Summit 2. Of course, top four will move on to double elimination playoff bracket starting at the semifinals and with two losers bracket rounds as well. So top four teams will face off in the finals here. Still a lot of Dota to be played, of course, with 12 teams. Each team going to be playing around 11 games. The only team currently mathematically eliminated is the qualifying team, BBC Balkan Bears. So the British Broadcasting Company. So unfortunate for them. They've pretty much been rolled, but very well played to them for making it to um, the position they are in and being up against the likes of these tier one teams coming up in the scene. So congratulations to them. Of course, Kompas Gaming was the other qualifying team, which was heavily favored here. Lions actually did fall in that qualifying bracket, as well as Team Coast to Kompas Gaming. So Bears did beat Lions. So Bears certainly earned their way here, but unfortunately they are mathematically eliminated with those last couple of games played. Fnatic, as you can see, is sitting at 3-6, so going to be hard pressed to make it into that top four. As you can see, the highest amount of losses in the top four right now is 3, held by Fnatic. So that the best that Fnatic can do, of course, having already played 9 games, is 5-6. So they will be marginally, it seems, marginally in the running, but in all likelihood, with teams like Cloud9 having only played 5 games and Navi having only played 3, they will probably look pretty good. Even Empire, their next opponent, has only played 4 games, does have 3 losses, however. So Empire not looking particularly strong in this tournament. They actually are the one win from BBC was against Empire. So unfortunately for them, they did drop that game, and they also lost to Moscow 5, which they're expected to beat and heavily favored in. And they lost to Secret, which is more or less what everyone's been doing. As you can see, the only team to beat Secret so far is actually Alliance. So who is not doing particularly well themselves in the tournament. So still pretty wide open here. Tinker and Secret looking very strong. PR had a great morning this morning, winning both of their games, one against Kompas Gaming, one against Fnatic. So Kompas Gaming having a rough day. They've lost 2 games today, one to PR, one to Fnatic. And Fnatic going to face up against Empire. After that, we have a great game, a real throwback TI3 shit, Navi versus Alliance. So and then we'll round out the day with PR versus Empire. So we'll see a lot of Empire today. We'll see a lot of, you've already seen a lot of PR. We'll see some more of them. Fnatic's third game of the day is coming up here very shortly. So I just wanted to throw up those standings for you guys, and you can certainly check those out. The next game should be up in a minute or so. I'm just going to grab a quick bite and we'll be back. I am Morris, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. Thanks again for joining me, guys. This is the Summit 2 European qualifiers on this beautiful October the 21st. So be back soon, guys. Thanks. Still waiting on the game, boys and girls. So I'm not sure if it's player issues or beyond the schedule issues, but either way, ETA for the game was 1:15 EDT or 19:15 CEST. So hopefully we'll get it for you soon. If you'd like, go over to the official stream and flame BTS. Thanks for watching, guys. This is the Summit 2 presented by G2A.com, Twitch TV, and 100TB, and of course beyond the Summit. So be back momentarily for the game. So one thing I can do in the meantime is actually show you the compendium. So if you guys haven't already, oh, it looks like a game's actually starting. I'm on auto spectate here, so much for that. But if you haven't already, $9.99 USD is the price of the Summit 2 bundle. Comes with the compendium, as well as Dusky the Husky, as well as at this point an HUD, a loading screen as you see here, and a ward as well. So quite a bit of goodies coming along with this bundle. It's not so much like Synergy League, that's 11 bucks and you get nothing. So certainly a good buy as well. More stretch goals are to be attained for sure. A lot has been contributed already towards this tournament, so be sure to contribute as well. And of course, you get the Dota TV ticket along with that. So this is the Summit 2, of course, guys, with presented by Beyond the Summit, as well as G2A.com, 100TB.com, and Twitch.tv, of course. So hopefully we can hop in sometime soon here for you guys. I was just finishing the last of my sunflower seeds there, so you won't hear that again. But this is, of course, the Summit 2 European qualifiers. We have Fnatic versus Team Empire. And of course, this, I believe, is the new lineup for Team Empire. So for those of you that don't know, Mag is stepping away from Pro Dota momentarily, competitive Dota. So he certainly was one of the more stable players on Empire, and certainly was a benchmark for offlane play, offlane play for quite a while in the scene. And much respect goes out to him for his career thus far. I'm sure he'll be back in competitive Dota sometime soon. Spoiler alert: his replacement is Yoki. So Yoki going to be playing. There you see him in the light blue jersey. Yoki going to be playing for Empire. A little bit of trolling going on in the names of the other members of Empire. So I just want to confirm who those are. Probably
Fnatic's
will do
turn to
so
ban.
by their picks, of course. Um, Always want to fly has to be one of them. Um, I know who Resolution is, and we know who Silent is. He is the carry, of course. So it looks like Yoki actually does
10
change his
seconds
name there. So
remaining.
Yoki is in the
Team
third slot.
Empire's
We'll see the
turn to
same
ban.
squad from Fnatic. First ban, Tidehunter, comes out from them. Solo should be the other one, of course. Excuse me. But Yoki up and comer in the Russian scene,
10 seconds remaining.
and he will be standing in for Mag. When Kai P and Empire were sort
5
of coming up
seconds
together,
remaining.
I was big fans of both Bone 7 and Mag, and took a lot of keys from them as to how to play
Fnatic's turn to
in the
ban.
offlane. So much respect goes out to both of them. Of course, Kai P went on to become Cloud9 after a few different name changes through Rattlesnake International, Speed Gaming, and now C9. So, of course, they went through a
10
roster change of
seconds
their own,
remaining.
losing Sing Sing for Fata. Sing Sing is currently in Team
5
Tinker.
seconds remaining.
First Ben Magnus comes out from Empire. They saw Arise's play last game, and despite giving
Reserve
away a
time.
couple RPs, Not so much that it was his fault, just very good play from PSM. Fnatic looked extremely comfortable with that
Team
Magnet in the
Empire's
mid lane.
turn to
So
ban.
Tide Ogre bans are here from Fnatic. Ogre has been pretty popular in this meta. The Bloodlust is really effective for a lot of these 4 protect
10
1
seconds
drafts,
remaining.
as well as, of course, him being a good roaming support, a tanky support with a high amount of base
Fnatic's
armor,
turn to pick.
and therefore physical resistance. So he's pretty damn good, and he's going to get banned out here. It's nice to see a resurgence of Ogre, period. He hasn't been, very popular in Pro Dota ever, so... Razorban is out here from Empire, and we'll see what the first pick from Fnatic ends up being here.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And they'll actually pick up the Death Prophet. Death Prophet is actually the
Team
hero
Empire's
that
turn
I...
to pick.
If you have the compendium, guys, week 2 predictions are out. So of course, week 1 was the rat quotient between Loda and Eternal Envy. This week is the wuss factor between Bulba from Team Tinker and Vanscore, of course, from Navi, formerly of Empire. Seems like every year Navi steals a player or two from Empire after
10
TI. So
seconds remaining.
Death Prophet was the hero that I predicted to be banned most. So,
5 seconds
well,
remaining.
screw me sideways and call me
Team
Sally, because
Empire's
they picked
turn
Death
to pick.
Prophet, and it wasn't banned. First pick Void from Empire here. So we'll see if Yoki actually picks that up in the off lane. Don't see Silent too often on Void. Perhaps it goes in mid for resolution, but I doubt that. So perhaps we'll see Yoki make some big plays in what I think is his first game with the new squad here. Brewmaster going to be the second pickup
Fnatic's
as
turn
well
to
from
pick.
Empire. Team Empire tweeted out...
Skywrath Mage.
Team Empire tweeted out
Fnatic's
that
turn to
19
ban.
minutes ago, the official welcome statement welcoming Yoki to the team. So I'm gonna have to assume that this is the first game at least outside of scrims that they're playing with Team Empire. Skywrath Mage was the most picked
Team
hero
Empire's turn to
in week
ban.
1 during the summit EU. So he will be picked up once again here from Fnatic. We'll see if Crit or Rise looks to pick that up. Probably will see a rise in the mid lane on that Death Prophet.
10
Hani is
seconds
obviously very
remaining.
capable on it too, so we could see some role swapping there.
5 seconds remaining.
But you'll definitely see resolution on this Brewmaster unless they
Fnatic's
choose to
turn
offlane
to
it,
ban.
which is probably unlikely with that first pick of Void. So Void and Brew don't synergize very well, but they're both very strong team fighters, space creators as well. So Venge is going to be banned out
Team Empire's
from
turn to
Empire.
ban.
Mirana going to be banned from Fnatic. If any team uses it to the manner that they used it last game, certainly is a very smart ban. They had extreme effectiveness with that Mirana.
10 seconds
Gyro
remaining.
also banned here from Fnatic. So it does
5
synergize well
seconds remaining.
with the Chronosphere call down, as well as his
Team
magic damage
Empire's
toolkit
turn to
early
pick.
on. And the homing missile is pretty good versus the Death Prophet. DP does want to stay in fights and do as much damage with that exorcism, so casting that homing missile often causes one to run away.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
Shadow Demon's the pickup here from Team Empire, so we'll see what they look to do with that. It's good support to have with the Brewmaster. The defensive disruption to cover the Ancient Seal will pretty much
10
counteract
seconds
the
remaining.
duration of that, and therefore, upon emerging from that
5
disruption,
seconds
the
remaining.
Brewmaster should often be able to get his split off. So very good. Also very good against the Centaur.
Team
It's a Shadow
Empire's
Demon, but
turn to pick.
of course we all know the potency of the Centaur Skywrath Mage. Once the dagger is up on the Centaur and that roaming combo, stomp into Ancient Seal, into Double Edge, into even a couple Arcane Bolts is usually a death. with the extreme amount of magic damage that comes out from Double Edge. Of course, a 400 damage nuke at level 4, and it's usually maxed up by level 7 with most
10
builds.
seconds
Of
remaining.
course, some opt for a little more points in return or Hoof Stomp, but
5
either way,
seconds
tons of
remaining.
magical damage from that combo. Very cut and dry draft from
Reserve
Fnatic
time.
here. Gonna see probably the Centaur offlane, the DP in the mid, the Skywrath in the 4 or 5. So very strong draft, very strong synergy with those heroes as well, with the Concussive Shot helping out the Death Prophet, and of course the Hoof Stomp doing the same. The Stampede helps out the Death Prophet, so
Place.
obvious synergy here from Fnatic's. Silence
Fnatic's
Clink's
turn
going to
to
be
pick.
picked up here from Empire. Very classic draft from them. So it will be an off-lane Void, presumably, with Silent in the safe lane, and of course Brewmaster in the mid for Empire. So pretty standard drafts from both teams in terms of their play styles. Fnatic a little more just standard to Dota 2 recently, as opposed to Pro Dota 2, I should say, as
10
opposed to
seconds remaining.
specifically MYMs or Fnatic's playstyle.
5
But
seconds
Empire,
remaining.
very cookie cutter draft for them. And we'll see what they round out this last
Reserve
pick for
time.
always want to fly or solo here. Actually, the names did change back now. I'm not sure if the admins asked for that, but always want to fly is there as well as solo. So um, cheeky little plays from them. Batrider ban from Empire definitely also synergizes well with the Death Prophet. And actually, we'll see another Treant
Team
pickup here. So
Empire's turn to
Fnatic saw their
ban.
enemies pick up Treant last game. Obviously, that didn't work out very well. Um, Treant is pretty good in against the Chronosphere. So it pretty much mitigates any single target ability to
10
single
seconds
target kill
remaining.
for the Void. Just throw up a living armor on
5
that
seconds remaining.
isolated target, and most often the Void won't be able to clean that person up until he
Reserve
maxes
time.
out a time lock and gets a Mask of Madness up. So um, good pickup is the Treant here. I think a lot better than the last game. Certainly with a core Earthshaker, it looked a little bit underwhelming from Kompas Gaming. But of course, with drafts that include things like a core Earthshaker, you're always a genius when it succeeds and a noob when it fails. So
Fnatic's turn to
hard to flame
ban.
them for that. Kompas Gaming doing something a little bit unorthodox and getting punished heavily by Fnatic for it. Of course, the game went poorly from them from the start,
Team Empire's
losing
turn to pick.
losing their anti-mage instantly for Artez to that first blood. So unfortunate for them. We'll see a Leshrac ban from Fnatic. So the disruption into Split Earth combo going to be denied, as well as the
10 seconds
additional
remaining.
push. The Edict and Pulse Nova work well with Chrono as well.
5 seconds
And so
remaining.
Leshroc's a good ban. Not sure if Team Empire would have been running that or would
Reserve
have
time.
considered running that, but nonetheless, definitely would have synergized well with their lineup as well. A Spectre going to be banned here from Empire would be a good one position with some global presence to assist the Skywrath Centaur, as well as just scale them into the late game. A Spectre widely considered as one of the hardest carries in the game, even considered to outcarry Void in many debates and many arguments about that. Of course, in my opinion, none of those who is the hardest carry uh, arguments really tell anything relevant to the game, because whenever are you going to get a situation 60 minutes in the game that Void and Spectre meet up on one corner of the map and none of their team is around to assist in the fights? It's kind of a moot point in that sense, because Dota is a team game, and so often you find many heroes close to 6 slotted that late in the
10
game,
seconds remaining.
that often those arguments are posed. So
5
regardless,
seconds
in this
remaining.
game, Spectre will not face up against Void. He will be banned out. Darkseer is actually going to round out the lineup
Fnatic's turn to pick.
for Team Empire. So this is either a 4 or 5 position Darkseer. I would never want to see Void in a 4 or 5 position. There could be support Void, just using the Time Walk Chronosphere, but that's pretty weak, being as Void is an agility hero. So interesting pickup from Empire. Of course, Ion Shell works very well against the Treant Protector, and that is
10
most likely
seconds
the reason
remaining.
for the pick. It is a counter pick in that sense. So
5 seconds
the Ion
remaining.
Shell can go out onto the Void, and that will take down the Living Armor. And actually, a Queen of Pain. This is my second favorite hero in the game. Was my favorite hero until they brought in Ember Spirit. Um, so they'll bring in the Cop here. Interesting draft from both teams. And Solo will pick up the Darkseer in the 4 role. Always want to fly on the Shadow Demon in the 5. So yes, that will be a support Darkseer. So if they throw the Ion Shell, as I was saying, on the Void before he enters the Chrono, then Living Armor will only pretty much delay the inevitable because of the ticks from Ion Shell. Going to remove that really quick. So once again, guys, Yoki is labeled as a stand-in, of course, but is officially a new member of Empire, as Mag is stepping away from competitive Dota
10
briefly, it
seconds remaining.
seems. So all the best to him and to this new Empire squad in their first pro Dota 2 game since the transition. It seems there may have been one or two prior to this, but Ace looking pretty sexy on his Centaur. That helmet of Omax as well as the Warbringer set, not bad at all. And he's got his Reaver with him as well. So pretty damn cool. Ace will take the off lane up with this Centaur Warrunner. We've got Arise in the mid on the Queen of Pain in Mushi's set, actually. Yep. And he's actually watched some of Mushi's games, so of course you got to do your homework as a pro, and Mushi is certainly one to watch. Arise going to pick up that Skywrath Mage in the 4 position, crit on the 5 position Treant Protector. And Hani actually going to be in bot lane on this 1 position, Death Prophet. Of course, he's a very capable Death Prophet player,
30
formerly playing
seconds to
mid
battle.
for Fnatic. We see Solo Yoki in a dual off lane at this point on the Darkseer and the Faceless Void, respectively. Nice shoulder pads here for Yoki. Those are pretty cute. And we see Resolution in the mid on the 2 position Brewmaster. The horn sounds. Always want to fly in the top safe lane on that 5 position Shadow Demon with Silent on the 1
The
position
battle
Clink.
begins.
And it looks like we are going to run dual lanes here for Empire, unless Solo looks to instantly jungle, which isn't a bad choice either. But we will see. Looks like Treant found the bounty rune bottom. So he'll pick up a little bit of extra gold. And he's gone boots first, so we'll see if he looks to level up the Leech Seed here. Or perhaps Living Armor, depending on the situation across the map. Shadow Strike is going to be skilled up level 1. We'll see if there's an engagement bottom here. 2 Ion Shells going to push this wave up real quick for Empire. And we'll get Yoki some farm as well as Solo here. So that helps them out. Actually zones Hani out quite a bit as well. We'll take a look at this mid matchup. It's going to go really well for Arise here. He's actually leveled Shadow Strike level 1 for the extra amount of lane dominance. I'm somewhat of a fan of this. I think it's very situational, but against a melee hero like the Brewmaster, certainly a good choice from Arise. So don't mind that at all here. He's got no Talisman. He's been pulled a couple of Tangos. And just first item Stealth Shield with a couple of Tangos for a Resolution. He's going to rush that bottle. Looks like Ace is being aggressed on in the top lane, couple of Searing Arrows, as well as right clicks from Always Want to Fly, but he's leveled up that return already, and pretty much does the same amount in terms of percentage to Always Want to Fly as is done to him. So nice cancel on the clarity there from Rise to Solo. He's got Surge and Ion Shell sitting at level 2. Yoki doing very well in this bottom lane, 7-0 up against the 6-1 of Hani. In the mid lane, we see Resolution at 8-0 up against the 8-2 of Arise. So Resolution getting quite a bit out of this lane here. Top rune going to be secured by Arise. He'll be able to blink down into lane as well. He's actually maxing the Shadow Strike as opposed to just going for the early point in it. And Concussive Shot going to go out into Solo, but he's got Surge and they can't chase him down. He'll salve up and Clarity and rotate back towards the lane. Ace is getting quite a bit from this lane in terms of experience. He's already level 3.5. He does not have any CS yet, but doing pretty well for a 2 versus 1. I like this decision from Empire. to go with the dual lanes and protect Solo here. They don't really have too much kill potential on him especially with Solo in the lane, but they have really no lockdown for him. Only the concussive shot, leech seed, which can both be pretty much mitigated by that time leap. Ace has been gone on in the top lane. He's got soul catcher on him. He's gonna run to the right and down the ramp, but one more searing arrow after this from Silent. He's actually gonna salve up as he walks around the corner. Nice play by him, and Ace will be just fine. Shadow Strike in the mid lane gonna go out from Resolution. And there is only a level 1 Scream of Pain, only doing 85 damage. Really, this is why I'm not a fan of the max Shadow Strike build, because Queen of Pain's Scream of Pain is pretty much a lot of your early game potency there. If you even get 3 levels in it, it's already 225 damage and a good AoE. It ensures CS. And of course, you see the Shadow Strike is used for lane dominance, but Resolution has 16 last hits, which is only, at this point, 1 behind Arise. So, not a huge fan of that build, but I see why you would go it against a melee hero. I just like the early game potential of Scream of Pain, and as well its spammability is pretty damn good. Looks like Solo's going to chase down Crit here. He does have living armor. Will he pop it? He does, but it's too late. And should have went with that a little bit earlier. And a concussive shot out from Rise. Yoki does have the time walk though. Will they find 2 kills in this bot lane? No, they're going to back up as there are TPs in from Crit onto the bot lane, and he will living armor up Rise fairly soon. But finding a kill in this 2v3 is a disaster for Fnatic here. Well played by Empire. Regen going to be found here by Solo. Unfortunately, it is just before his bottle comes out, which is currently in the stash. And actually, Empire going to Ace going to find a solo kill onto Always Want to Fly. Perhaps Always Want to Fly disconnected here, as there is a pause, but door for Solo. So that's the classic pub excuse for needing a pause, is someone's at the door. So Solo AFK for a second. Silent doing very well in this safe lane, however, even though he lost Always Want to Fly here, sitting at 27 CS to the 22 of Hani's. But Yoki getting quite a bit. One last hit for Ace, but he does find that solo kill, and 16 last hits for Yoki. But as you see, the experience is going well the way of Ace, because he's been able to sit in lane and not being worried about too much about harass, and also Yoki has pushed the lane up with this Ion Shell quite a bit. So yeah, he's doing well in terms of experience. He might have to base here. He actually drags the lane back, so he will be just fine for the moment being. And Arise going to tango up in the mid lane. He's already sitting at level 6. Resolution is behind. As you can see, the deny is taking effect. 12 denies. Resolution still finding good farm, however. And did he pick up anything here? He's got his bottle with his boots. A few minutes in, Yoki actually gonna find another kill in the bot lane with the help of Solo here. He's gonna be surged away. Is there a Crypt Storm to hit him? No, it's gonna be just short. And Solo still putting punishment, and with Always Want to Fly rotating down, will they get this disruption off on Crit? He does get surged forward, but he will get fogged in the tree line. Nice play from Crit to get through. However, all of what was needed is a couple surges, time walks, and a time walk, and Rise goes down once again. 2-0 in this bottom lane are the kills, going the way of Empire. And well played by them to consider this dual lane. That last pick Darkseer is doing quite a bit of work into this Treant Protector, and they're really showcasing the viability of this support DS. So Queen of Pain is going to grab a bounty rune for her bottle. Illusion going the way of Brew. Is Crit going to fall here to the Ion Shell? No. Nice concussive shot from Rise. Something going to come out here for Hani. He's got his phase boots up now, so he'll finally be able to run from this Ion Shell, as well as put some harass into Yoki here. And that should help out this lane quite a bit. Rise doing very well in the mid. Looks like he's going to rush that Orchid with a Robe of Magi already picked up. And has only gone for 2 points in the Shadow Strike. Is continuing thereafter to max out the Scream of Pains, as I mentioned. So, not a Shadow Strike max, but I think 1 extra point then was necessary. Ace going to look to find out Silent here. He'll get Soul Captured as well as Disrupted. But no magic damage is going to come towards his way. So Soul Catcher really not necessary there. It's a bit of a waste of mana from Always Want to Fly. Searing Arrows are physical damage, so yeah. Looks like Solo and Yoki posturing up to find Rise once again with this Observer ward here, but they will not do so. And actually TPs are in from Resolution in the bot lane. He does have a split up here. So perhaps a jump in from Yoki will sound this off. He doesn't have Chrono quite yet. Needs a couple more creeps to go down. A surge forward, however, for Hani. Nice concussive shot by Rise. Clap's going to land on no one. He's going to split, however. And jump in from Arise. He's going to completely whiff the Scream of Pain. And they're just going to kite out this... Primal Split. It's going to go down fairly soon here. Cyclone up onto Arise. They will corner in Hani, however, and they'll kill him off, though. Leech Seed out. Scream of Pain onto 2. Will Yoki die? There's a Sonic Wave into Resolution. Will they finish him off? 2 Ion Shells into Arise. He will go down, but a double kill there for the tree, and actually Rise is going to pick up Resolution. So all the experience going the way of the supports, unfortunately. As you can see, the experience and gold's been going the way of Fnatic, but however, Empire's cores were alive for Rise dying there, so can't really say it's a win here for Fnatic, despite going 2 for 3 in that bot lane. So unfortunate that Arise went down. If he was able to finish off Yoki there before going into the Brewmaster, perhaps he doesn't die with the double Ion Shell burning his health away. Ace has his Tranquils here and 300 gold, so still not doing well in terms of farm. Has hit his level 6, does have his Stampede up, and did seem to use it in that bot lane. Hani running right over Solo here. He's trying to base. Chrono is available, however, and it's going to be used. And with Solo in position there, the Ion Shell as well as the right click is going to tick him down. Shadow Strike and Scream of Pain going out from Arise, but Blink is cooling down, and when you don't max the Blink and Scream of Pain, you don't have much chase potential on this hero. So still a pretty big... I hate to harp on it, but I'm a pretty big hater of that Shadow Strike build. Concussive Shot going to go out onto Silent. He's going to get Ancient Sealed up, and that beautiful nuke comboed with the Ancient Seal from Ace from the double edge will be more than enough to pick off Silent, and a nice 1,000 experience bounty going the way of Ace as well as Rise here. Looks like they'll bring the Exorcism up to top lane and look to push in here. Only 2 levels in Witchcraft here. Up for Hani. That will give him, what, 2 spirits? 4 extra spirits, so that will be a little bit more potent than usual, but still pretty underwhelming at level 1. However, they're going to rotate everyone to this top lane, except for Arise, and look to push it in. So they shouldn't have a problem doing this. They may trade their safe lane tier 1. That seems to be the case here. Arise has popped Invis, does have Sonic Wave here for Yoki. And they will glyph the tower as well as living growth it up. Will Yoki backtrack this? Arise can go in here with a... Oh, and actually stop cast the Sonic Wave. Not sure why. Gets time locked and goes down. So Arise being a little bit conservative with his spells there. And actually feeds away a death to Yoki and Solo. Another death going their way. Take a look at the KDA here. Towers go 1 for 1. Arise goes down, having an extremely underwhelming game after doing well in that mid lane. And 2-1 and 2 is the Faceless Void. The Darkseer also sitting at 3-1 and 3. So free 560 experience to 400 gold going the way of Empire, plus the tower kill there. Surge onto Solo. Looks like he's just going to look for the rune. Nothing here. And will probably base. He's got a mech up in this 4 position Darkseer already. So the greedy draft from Empire is really working out here. They've already got a tower up against the Tree and Protector. Towers are 1 for 1. Take a look at the graphs, and Empire have already amassed a 5,000 gold lead, almost net worth lead, I should say, and 3,000 experience lead. Midas is going to be look to be the pickup here from Hani. This is somewhat of a recovery Midas, already 12 minutes into the game, and is still 400 gold away. So unfortunate for Hani there. Ace is still about 900 gold from this Blink Dagger at this point, which is not too good. Got some shots going to go on onto Silent, though, and they're going to find a really priority target here, lurking through the jungle with that Ancient Seal. Sonic Wave going to be committed. from Arise there. So despite everything else that's going on, this 88 CS Clinks has been killed twice, and he's still topping the net worth by a wide margin here for Empire. So I'm sure they're not too worried, but it's unfortunate they're feeding these deaths away on their one position Clinks. Of course, still well in the lead is Empire at this point. Resolution going to bottle up this haste rune. Defensive disruption here from Always Wanna Fly. He's just going to look to back off. But blink forward, clap, split. Oh, nice Ancient Seal. They're going to finish off Resolution before he's able to get the split off. And a free trade on the core Brewmaster. Ace is going to get away. He's going to get Living Growth up. Chrono on 3, though, from Yoki. He's going to finish off Crit fairly soon. Rise is going to concuss him. And they're going to look to take him out. Nice hoof stop from Ace. Great defensive disruption from Always Wanna Fly. Yoki going to be able to clean up the Skyrath before going down. Ends up being a 2-for-2 in the bot lane. However, 2 supports for 2 cores going the way of Fnatic. As you can see, experience and gold swinging their way. 500 gold swing, about 800 experience going their way. However, losing Rise at the end is really good for Yoki there. He'll pick up some extra gold before going down. He's already got his death here. Morbid Mask, I should say. And he's about 300 gold from that Mask of Madness at this point. Ace has recovered well in terms of farm. He made some nice plays bottom to survive and to even know his limits, going back in for that hoop stomp. Once again, though, roaming Skyrath Centaur. Can they find Silent here? If they do, this will be huge. But actually, a ward scouts him out at the last moment. Dust is going to be a little bit off the mark, and Silent is going to survive. That would have been a huge kill to bring him down for the 3rd time, especially considering he's got that Midas up. And actually, they're going to find Resolution instead. He's going to get Ancient Sealed up. He still will be able to get this split off, though, if he wants. And nothing used by Ace there, unfortunately. Rise does survive. Blink down from Resolution, however, and he's going to choose wrongly going up towards the shop as Rise proceeds downwards to the south. So, unfortunately for Resolution, he can't find a kill there, but Mystic Flare was committed. And Living Armor gonna heal up this tower a bit. Silent hasn't been able to do much work in the way of pushing towers because of this tree and protector, but is sitting handily on the top of that net worth chart. Is Resolution gonna blink in here with a split on Ace? It looks like he's got that ready and waiting. Demonic Purge, jump in, clap. Hoof Stomp gonna whip on everyone. Ace going to be brought down by one last crit from Resolution, and that's a huge kill as he was fairly close to that Blink Dagger. In the meantime, Mask of Madness going to be picked up here from Yoki. Glyph the tower, boys, and they do glyph it, but it will be taken down promptly thereafter by Silent, and he is well within the net worth lead. And Arise really been the story of this early game for Fnatic. Hasn't done much. Had a great game on Magnus last game. Is sitting well a ways, about 1,500, 1,600 gold away from that Orchid. Will pick up Always Wanna Fly here, perhaps. And actually, the Mystic Flare is going to be what cleans up Always Wanna Fly. But pretty much a consolation prize here for Fnatic. Just a solo kill on a support in the mid lane. With the committing of Sonic Wave there is not the best, but any amount of gold going towards Arise is good. Orchid is not ready yet for Silent, but just a couple right clicks from the strafe as well as the blink clap would have cleaned up Arise here. However, he backs off intelligently enough. Good game sense from him. Yoki farming the bot lane, 1,400 gold on top of his Mask of Madness. He's got his time lock maxed out here, so has a lot of solo kill potential with that Mask of Madness treads already up. Ace is 300 gold from his Blink Dagger here. That'll be a huge pickup for Fnatic and increase the potency of the roaming Centaur Skyrath combo there. So they're gonna find out Resolution. However, he's gonna blink before he's hit with anything, and he'll avoid that Ancient Seal death there. So nice play by him. Now they can posture up and look to go mid. Orion is going to be right-clicked into. By Silent is going to have to blink out. They're going to put a lot of damage into this tower. It's going to be glyphed up early here. Ancient Seal is up here for Rise. We'll look to see if he finds Resolution with it. But Resolution going to be positioned very well here. And it doesn't look like Fnatic want to engage unless they can silence up this Brew. and they'll
Radiant's
feed
middle
away
tower
a
has
tier 1
fallen.
for free. Once again, giving up these early towers with a treant on your side is really to counter to what the hero offers, and it's really worrisome for this kind of lineup. 10 to 10 is your score 17 minutes in. However, net worth lead in excess of 5,000 and experience about 3,000 for Empire here. So in terms of the metrics, they are leading and heavily. Hani has not gone for the Yules here. He's actually picked up a casual Vit booster. Orchid now comes out for Silent, and they will immediately smoke and go right into Roche here and look to pick up this Aegis for him, or perhaps a Resolution, but Silent's certainly a better Aegis carrier on the Clinks than is a Resolution on this Pandarian Brewmaster. So Yoki will leap in as well, and they will bring this down with relative ease. 4-man smoke gonna plant some as aggressive wards for Fnatic, but unfortunately not gonna get anything done. Ace finally has his blink dagger though, so the first person to defend this, who seems to be always want to fly, will be in extreme danger. Stampede forward, a nice defensive disruption from always want to fly. Ace gonna have to back out in light of that. Jump in, split being cast. Nice ancient seal from Rise, however. Resolution's gonna be able to make it away, and the Chrono is on Ace here. Exorcism gonna have to do work around the Chronosphere, so doesn't do enough to kill off Yoki here. And Primal Split is still out for quite a bit. Hani gonna drop down. He does not have a Yules for defensive. He will be brought up by the Wind Panda here. Still only a 1-for-0. And actually the Courier going down for Fnatic here. Defensive disruption for Always Wanna Fly. He's gonna die. But we'll see if they can find any important return kills. A nice Orchid onto a Rise. Mystic Flare is going to whip on Resolution. Rise going to be healed up from the Living Armor, but he'll get cleaned up by Yoki. A Rise going to finish off Brewmaster with that Sonic Wave in the back. So Resolution does go down, but Crit going to be the trade-off. And he's going to die to one last right click from Clink, who gets a double kill here for Silent. And a lot of damage going into the bottom tier 2 as well.